sex objects, and they're attacking conservatives who don't like it. They want to savage our minds, break our will. This is a military operation. These aren't trendy liberals. These are sicko Nazis.
Hi, this is Alex Jones. Did you know that
That's the problem, is that I have all these articles, and if I had time to drill into this one story about this comedian making a joke about killing her baby and telling people she'd killed it, and then it was fun, and smiling about it and hurting people's feelings, I could really illustrate to people the type of just amazing wickedness we're dealing with. Now, if you're a radio listener and couldn't see me show the photo of her tweets on Prisonplanet.tv, where we're streaming video here out of the studio, you're not seeing her with her boyfriend imitating that famous shot where the woman pulls up her shirt and shows her belly and smiles with loving, faraway stare of just being in rapture, and the man all looks excited. And then next it shows her right after the abortion. And then she put it out saying she'd had an abortion just to show everybody that it was her right to kill the baby. Whether you're for abortion or not, don't make sick jokes about it. But that's what this is all about. Next, I take you to the radar story. And I don't even show this on TV, folks. And warning, if you go look up the Radar Online report from the comedy show on HBO, Angry Boys. And it shows 4, 5, 6-year-old girls with giant sex toys sucking them. That's America. And by the way, I've looked at the federal and state laws. That is illegal. That is illegal. And you've got the UN, NAMBLA is part of the United Nations. That's the North American Man-Boy Love Association. I've seen these people on the news. They all look like CPS agents, because that's pretty much where they all work. Oh yeah, you didn't know that? Or the TSA. Another TSA got busted reportedly with kids and child porn, and another one got busted with more prostitutes running them. Another one got busted robbing people. And I was reading where at JFK that on average they have 240-something thefts a week by the TSA. I was robbed at JFK. I've flown into it and out of it one time, and I was robbed. A wrapped present was opened and the contents stolen. That's America. They probably didn't like it because it was for a child. It was a silver Tiffany teething ring for my newborn daughter at the time, 7 years old now. That's what America is run by, a bunch of criminals. Here's another one. A shock tactic gone too far. New ad features senior citizens simulating sex positions to promote use of condoms. Again, it's not about sex with these people. It's about denigrating our normal, basic human instincts. Tearing down children, tearing down women, tearing down old people, telling you humans are trash, carbon footprints are bad. Humans need to die. They have these video games they show kids in Australia and in Canada that they show them in public school where it shows little animals being killed, simulated. Yeah, don't even show it. Don't even show it to the TV viewers. It's all right. Don't even show it. And they show the little kids, animals being killed, little puppies having their heads cut off. And then the kids cry and are taught, well, if you only live to a certain age, if you commit suicide, I'm not joking, even ABC News covered this and was like, ABC News of Australia said, is it good to teach them that they should commit suicide? It's kind of like the video, and this happens at public schools, not just that particular private school, where the autistic boy is chained down for 7 hours being shocked. In public schools, they have them wearing taser belts. And if you don't do what they say, they taser you. This is all just the legalization of torture. And the local news piece, the Fox News, was like, well, it's controversial, the 7 hours of being shocked. It's torture. It's not controversial that the TSA is sticking their hands down our pants. It's illegal. Oh, man, I tell you. I don't even know what to say anymore. All right, let me just try it again. Let me just try to read you the stacks of news here. You've got pedophilia being promoted on HBO, and I am calling for a boycott of their criminal activity, and it's all psychological warfare. Coming up after the break, red alert. Buffett rule is a criminal scam, and I'm going to prove it's a criminal operation by Warren Buffett and the globalists. On the other side, this massive tax increase, they're exempt from it. They use the fact they're exempt from taxes with loopholes they wrote. He helped lobby for the loopholes they have now in the 80s and 90s. Then he talks about the loopholes he had written on record. I have the articles here. And then Buffett talks about, oh my gosh, it's just terrible news that my secretary pays more in taxes percentage-wise than I do. Raise taxes, get me, I'm rich. Class warfare. And it turns out he was the biggest beneficiary of the banker bailout. Himself getting billions, and the companies he's involved with in total over $1 trillion. You know the banker bailout total in the U.S. alone, last time we got numbers, is 27+ trillion of your money. And that's why they need to raise your taxes now to pay for the ongoing banker bailout, which isn't a bailout at all. They're allowed to monetize whatever debt they want and then get interest. The Federal Reserve monetizes U.S. debt. It's private. It creates zeros and ones, buys it at the open market system in other ways, and then creates debt, interest debt that we've got to pay them. We bail them out, and then we go into debt to them. Same thing in Europe, so I'm going to go over that. I'm going to give you my take on the whole Secret Service situation. You've also got these different federal employees groups going to lavish Las Vegas parties, that big scandal. Folks, they always tell you about a Secret Service sex scandal, or they tell you about some people going to Las Vegas and giving each other cash awards and paying themselves to go to Las Vegas. That is bad corruption. But the media that works for the big offshore banks, the real government, those that have hijacked this country, I'm not just saying that. We're really run by foreign banks. I'm going to prove it coming up in the next segment. They don't want the little weevil bugs that they've got parasiting on us and minding us and running us. They don't want their slave masters, who are slaves themselves, getting too much of the goods. If there's too much waste and fraud and abuse, they like a little bit so they can blackmail and control everybody. But if there's too much of it, then they'll take over and mess up the organized looting. And so this is also about acting like, oh, the real corruption is a bunch of hookers with the Secret Service and the military. And I'm not saying that's good. It just shows what we've turned into. Or they'll talk about some employees, wasting millions of dollars and the federal government going and having parties in Vegas. When meanwhile, DynCorp, there's Hillary dancing with the ladies like she always is. Anyways, going back to what I was saying, whatever. Secret Services with female hookers, Hillary's out dancing. The point is that there are trillions being stolen, DynCorp Halliburton running child kidnapping rings, cancer viruses being injected into us in the vaccines, GMO poisoning us, and we're hearing about the Secret Service and hookers. We'll be right back. All right, we are back live. Coming up in the second hour, I will open the phones up today. In the next segment, I'm going to play a special news report that Infowars.com produced in association with writer, director, TV host Sean Stone, laying out the evidence for high crimes and misdemeanors committed by Barack Hussein Obama. And some people in the comments, in fact, here's one of them on YouTube, on the 10-minute piece we're going to play here on the radio, said, impeach Obama for what? Oh, wait, for the same things George W. Bush did or Clinton or any other president has done? And I see this idea that, well, just because other people did things that were illegal or unconstitutional, it's okay for Obama to. No, when Bush ordered torture, which is totally illegal, I called for his impeachment and supported calls for it in the House. I supported on talk radio the impeachment of William Jefferson Clinton for lying under oath. It'd be like saying, well, somebody else got away with murder, so it's okay now. And the point is, you notice now it gets worse each administration because the bureaucracy and the corporate interests that aren't free market, that are monopoly groups, they're basically mafias, crime syndicates. They want to be able to rob and steal and take whatever they want. And it's bad enough to have some corruption in government. But these globalists have laid out Agenda 21 on record to take control of almost all private property, to raise taxes and regulations, to bankrupt you, and to create a post-industrial, post-service economy. These are quotes by Maurice Strong, Club of Rome, UN, Ted Turner. This is what they're doing. They want you to go bankrupt. They want there to only be a few mega corporations. This is the stated goal. We're being conquered by a corporate takeover. When I say our government was taken over by private banks, I'm not just saying that. I'm not just saying that. That's what the New World Order is. In David Rockefeller's own memoir, he says the New World Order is a global corporate system run by international financiers. And he says, surely that's a better system than the self-determination of democracies. I mean, go read it. But see, they know you're not reading. They know I get up here and talk about this. People are like, oh, that's ridiculous. Funny, though, people are starting to listen. The Washington Post looks so silly saying Bilderberg didn't exist all these years. I mean, even the last 6 years, as the Drudge Report every year links to our reports live from Bilderberg. And as hundreds of European papers pick up our stuff, including The Guardian, biggest paper not just in England but in Europe. It's the English-speaking paper. That's the unifying language over there. And the Washington Post and New York Times just a few years ago were still saying it didn't exist. Well, now they came out last week and said it exists and it's selecting Mitt Romney's running mate. And basically said that Rubio was meeting down there in Latin America at this summit at a Bilderberg steering meeting that our intel said 2 weeks ago with Jim Tucker they were going to have a steering meeting down there. Boom. Why would the Washington Post be admitting that now? Not only it exists, but they're running things because they look like idiots caught lying to you. They can only lie in the dark. They can only creep up to you in the dark. A vampire can only creep up, to use an analogy, in the dark. But if you're out there at high noon in the middle of a field, folks, vampires aren't going to be able to creep around anymore. They're like, okay, I'm a vampire. What's the big deal? Kind of like The Economist, Newsweek, Washington Post now. They're all world government's good, run by bankers. They know best. The autocratic technocrats, they know best. But still, that Alex Jones is bad because he doesn't want us to run things. He's still bad. Because, he didn't mind being made fun of all those years talking about real issues. Give me a document camp shot right over here, buddy. Thank you, Fred. Look at this note here. And if you simply go online, if you're a radio listener, in fact, I'll scan this in and put it up tomorrow. In fact, I meant to do this. I meant to cover this on Monday, but I'm going to do it now. Because I want to do a whole report on this. And I've done this off and on over the years. And then I've bought many of these at coin shops, and then they always get lost around the office or whatever, and all the piles of data and files and information. But my uncle was here visiting the other day, and he said, hey, I've heard you talk about United States notes. Here's one of those notes. Why don't you show it? So here I am showing it. This was reissued by Kennedy in 1963. You can zoom in right there and see 1963. He issued it 1 month before he was killed. And at the comedy show on HBO, Angry Boys. And it shows 4, 5, 6-year-old girls with giant sex toys sucking them. That's America. And by the way, I've looked at the federal and state laws. That is illegal. That is illegal. Comedian making a joke about killing her baby and telling people she'd killed it and then it was fun and smiling about it and hurting people's feelings. I could really illustrate to people the type of just amazing wickedness we're dealing with. Now, if you're a radio listener and couldn't see me show the photo of abortion, and then she put it out saying she'd had an abortion just to show everybody that it was her right to kill the baby. Whether you're for abortion or not, don't make sick jokes about it. But that's what this is all about. Next, I take you to the radar story. And I don't even show this on TV, folks. And warning, if you go look up the radar online report from sex objects, and they're attacking conservatives who don't like it. They want to savage our minds, break our will. This is a military operation. These aren't trendy liberals. These are sicko Nazis.
Hi, this is Alex Jones. Did you know that
That's the problem, is that I have all these articles, and if I had time to drill into this one story about this comedian for tweets on Prisonplanet.tv, where we're streaming video here out of the studio, you're not seeing her with her boyfriend imitating that famous shot where the woman pulls up her shirt and shows her belly and smiles with loving, faraway stare of just being in rapture, and the man all looks excited. And then next it shows her right after the